Okay, hello everyone. We're so happy to be here with Rachel and Kat from Dancing Through Parkinson's. Rachel is the creative director and the lead teaching artist, and Kat is the program manager. So we're definitely going to talk about of Hope, the upcoming show, and I really want to hear all about that. But I'm also so fascinated by the program itself that I'd love to start off with talking about Dancing Through Parkinson's. So Dancing Through Parkinson's is one of the main programs of Invertigo Dance Theater. We did an episode on them on the Kitchen Table Project a few years back. So we know the organization well and all the wonderful work that you all are doing. But I don't know that much about Dancing Through Parkinson's. So tell us a little bit about the background of how that came about and yeah.
Yeah, so Rachel's definitely been with the program longer than I have. But the story I know goes that Laura Carlin, who is the founder of Invertigo, one of her really good friends, Linda Berghoff, was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, I think in 2010. And so that was like a huge blow to their family. They're super close friends. And so Laura said, what should we do? Do you want to go take a dance class? Should we do yoga? Should we start our own dance class? And so that was kind of the winner. So Linda, Laura, and Fiona were the founders of Dancing Through Parkinson's, and it's been about over 11 years now that the class has been happening. So it's what it sounds like. It serves people with Parkinson's. It really invites anybody with neurological conditions or mobility issues, care partners, family, friends to join the class. It's really for everyone. What we're really doing is community building. I think Rachel and I talk a lot about how this program is kind of like sneaking veggies in like a mac and cheese or something. So dancing is just such a blast. You get so much emotional benefit from it, but there's also so many, scientific benefits, cognitively, for your mental health, obviously physically, stability, balance. It really addresses the symptoms of Parkinson's and really the symptoms of aging. So yeah, I can go on and on and on,
Yeah,
but I'll let
I would love to dive into that a little bit more. So
yeah.
Parkinson's, I'm sure most of our audience knows, but it's a neurodegenerative condition where it's usually associated with involuntary muscle movement. Is that accurate? Which I imagine in itself creates all kinds of challenges for dancing and just for moving in general, but dancing especially. So how
Yeah,
does
Parkinson's disease is the second most common neurodegenerative disease in the world. And they call it the snowflake disease because the symptoms are unique to each person. Typical symptoms is like rigidity, stiffness, tremor. That's sort of the motor symptoms. There's also sleep issues, cognitive issues, balance. So, and that's not too different than the normal aging process, I would say.
Mhm.
We could all sort of identify with that. It's just degenerative, and it can take a person with Parkinson's down quickly. And people have shared with me, it's like you never know what you're going to get when you wake up. You never know if the meds are going to work for you. So it's been so incredible to be in a creative environment with these folks who are come to dance because of a diagnosis and then discover this amazing creative being with inside of them. And we're trying to move away from the medical model of what disease is that says that something needs to be fixed. And we're going more into the social model of like something needs to be celebrated and exposed and witnessed. So that's what our dance classes really focus on.
I love that. That's what a great transition for that, and kind of to make it less of something to be afraid of or to feel worried about, as opposed to kind of just express through it. But I also imagine that there's a lot of challenges that come with that, because as you said, it changes daily. And so as you're creating a movement piece or a dance piece, I imagine there has to be some flexibility in there in terms of what to expect from the participants. So maybe you could tell me a little bit more about what that process is like.
Yeah, I think we've done several creative processes with Dancing Through Parkinson's. One of the first was a dance video, and part of it is just convincing the participants who again show up for community to like, well, let's take another avenue and do a creative expression that's going to either be recorded or be on stage for the Cartography of Hope. So there's often a lot of convincing, like, no, it's going to be great. You're going to love it. And what I've noticed is those that have signed up for these experiences is the friendships and the bonding goes really deep because we've been through something together. And again, it's feeling comfortable with exposing maybe a body that's not working as well as you want it to be. So people aren't necessarily showing up with a disability, they're showing up with their abilities. Like that's what we're really focused on, is like, what can we do together?
Yeah, that's great. And so besides the physical aspect, I imagine there's also an emotional aspect to it too. And there must be fear coming into this. There must be, all of the, seeing this happen over time, kind of that sort of dread about that. How does the dancing portion of that affect them emotionally as well?
Yeah, fear, apprehension, all of that. I think it's what I've seen is these moments of like, actually, I can do this, and stepping into that fear and risk of being told that, one, also for an age, it's just like, oh, that time has passed to be on stage, and really seeing how expressive the participants are. And this Cartography of Hope, we take an approach of a multidisciplinary practice. So we're doing artwork, we're doing collage work, poetry, music. We have a musician that's composed music. We have a musician that's playing music. So the invitation was to show up with your whole self. And so it's not a show just about Parkinson's, it's about this lovely community. So I think with that layering, it's just like, oh, we did these beautiful body maps, and then within that, we're asking the participants to think about like, what's the essence of lives inside of us? So how would you describe yourself? It had nothing to do with Parkinson's, or if it had everything to do with Parkinson's, it depends on what they want to express. And then through that, we find movement. That's the creative, fun challenge part, is how to express that through the body.
So let's talk a little bit more about the show then. So it's titled Cartography of Hope, A Journey of Change. And if I'm correct, it was kind of inspired by a poem, or that's sort of a central piece of it, but it's also been years in the works. Tell me a little bit about how this came about.
Yeah, so a good friend of ours, Francine Ringgold, who's been in the program for years. She does not have Parkinson's, but she's a board member. She shows up every week, and she's also a poet laureate, one of my most favorite people in the world. And we've done several projects together. My thesis show several years ago, I focused on dance and disabilities, and she was my dramaturge and kept everything together. And so we've done a lot of projects, and this is a project we've been nurturing for years. She wrote this beautiful poem, and so we decided to build the show around the poem, and it talks about we're bringing in elements of nature and how change is inevitable for all of us, and our only survival is through art and through community, because we all know how it's going to end. So it's the journey. And so that's the body mapping, is like, we're all taking a journey, not only in the environment, but within ourselves too. So Francine will be on stage reading the poem, and certain clips are inspiring different elements of either music or video or dance. So you're going to get it all.
What a beautiful sentiment of how we're all transforming through these lives, and our bodies are kind of coming along with us, and but we're still these expressive, artistic beings. And I love that there is opportunities like this. I mean, accessibility and inclusivity are so core to what we do at Arts at LA, and so it's just so warming to see other organizations that share that. So tell me about the details of the show. Where is it being performed? When is it being performed? All of that fun stuff. And where can people get tickets?
Kat, do you want to, she knows everything.
Yeah.
Sure. So it's at Highways Performance Space in Santa Monica. It will be the weekend in September. It is September 14th at 7:30 p.m. And then we're doing a matinee the following day, September 15th at 2 p.m. We have tickets on Eventbrite that can be found on our website and also on the Highways website. And I wanted to add that there will be an interactive gallery portion. So if you're coming to the show, you can really experience what the artistic process has been, you know, maybe, I mean, I won't give away too much, but there's some interactive galleries in the works.
And so this is prior to the show or prior going into the show. It's like an experience. Okay, great.
Yeah, that's one reason we chose Highways is they have this lovely gallery space, so that the audience can interact with these body maps before they go into the stage and then as they're exiting. So
Get a better understanding of the experience for the participants as well.
yeah.
Amazing. Is there any other thoughts that you'd like us to take away from this?
I think for me personally, I've been in the dance world for many years, and I find myself so completely overwhelmed with just joy and satisfaction of being in rehearsals with these performers. The effort, because they often say, Rachel, we don't want to, you know, make you upset or displease you, and I'm like, no, it's not about me, but I see the effort and the joy and the aha moments that are coming in for the first time. And that is why I do what I do. It's like I leave home and I'm like, wow, I'm so lucky to be in this process with these brave souls, brave creative souls. So for me, it's some of the most satisfying work I've ever done.
I love hearing you say that, Rachel. I mean, I think even Rachel is inspiring for me. You know, managing this program, I think you are just, you know, you're my girl. But I think one thing I will say about how this show is really connected to the program is that what makes our program different is that creative aspect that we're talking about, and, you know, inviting people to explore different parts of identity, especially after having such a heavy diagnosis that feels so, you know, all encompassing of, you know, who they are. And so providing creative outlets like this for our community is incredibly important for them, you know, to find different ways of expression, to, you know, remember different parts of their identity that maybe they haven't touched in a while because they've been, you know, focusing on how to manage a disease. And so aging with creativity is really the goal here. And I'm really thankful for this grant that we have received, that we've been able to do that, for Rachel to be able to create this work and have people come see it and really, you know, show off our dancers for the whole being of who they are, not just people living with Parkinson's.
Mm-hmm. And that this grant is focused on a live performance. I mean, it will be videoed and we've made body maps, but it's like this ephemeral moment that I don't think often we get to experience. And so it's about showing up, not only like on stage together, but also the audience. And so there's this lovely anticipation of we are going to create a moment that we hold in our heart. And this is what we just carry forward. And that's lovely to have a grant to support that moment.
Well, that's Absolutely incredible. And thank you both so much for sharing this with us. Rachel and Kat, this is incredible. The show is called Cartography of Hope, A Journey of Change. Go get your tickets today. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Yeah, see you
Thank
there.
for taking an interest.